over some stuff. Now, John has been in the kindergarten at the local elementary school since September, so there is a lot of things that have been covered with him and that have been taught to him, and he takes things in very quickly, and most things, if you can explain it to him 2 ways, he gets it like right away. Like, it just, he likes having alternative methods for interpreting information. So if at point A of introduction of a new topic you can show it to him 2 or 3 different ways, then it's just set in his mind. Now, I wanted to find some sort of assessment guideline or curriculum that I could judge where he's at and go from there as far as trying to teach him for the remainder of the time that he's supposed to be in kindergarten. I couldn't find anything specifically for kindergarten, but I was able to find a grade 1 assessment and scoring checklist, Common Core state standards. Pennsylvania is a Common Core state, so this fits right in with what he is required to know and learn while he is in first grade. So I was not sure how well or how in-depth we were going to be able to get into it because, like I said, it's grade 1, first grade, and he is in kindergarten. So this chunk is all different math skills assessments, which are the skills that he's supposed to master by the end of first grade. So some of this we have gotten to. We've gotten to 2 separate sets of assessments, and there are still some that need to be done. But we're making progress. We're doing pretty well. And I'm going to go right into it. So the first thing that I did was go into the grade 1 year-long skills interview record sheet. This is basic math things that they should be able to do, hopefully by the time they go into first grade, but it even states it in the directions that many kids won't, and that for this first set of assessments, they don't even expect you to go beyond task 4, because tasks 5, 6, and 7 are considered to be above the level of an incoming first grader. So the first task is forward counting sequences, and it gives you instructions on how to administer the assessment. With John's baseline, he has already mastered task 1 skills, so I don't need to teach him this task of math for the grade 1 requirement. Then we move on to task 2, which is identifying 1 more and 1 less than any number given. His baseline has also fully met the requirement for this task for the entire year, required for a first grader. Then you move on to numeral identification. The way it works is you're provided in this assessment a separate sheet of numbers. You point and you ask, what is this? They tell you the number, and you go on until they don't know it, or you reach the end of the page. So again, this is task 3, numeral identification, and John's baseline meets the entire requirement of this task for the Common Core standard. The task 4, which is composing and decomposing numbers to 10, the way this works is you would have a number of manipulatives. You start with 5, you show it to the student, ask them to tell you how much it is. They look at it and they either count it in their heads or count it one by one. Then you cover it, take away a certain amount, and have them tell you how much is exposed and how much is in the hand that has the rest. So it says to go through until you get to a number that they can't do or they're struggling with. So John's proficiency for his baseline went all the way to 10. Although he was able to identify all of the combinations that equal to 10, he did struggle with it more, so I just circled it instead of checking it. That is something we want to go, back to and practice a couple of times just so he gets it, so that it's recall and not having to actually try to do the math in his head. The next, we went ahead to the other tasks, which are not required. They don't have a baseline option for this, so I just took the fall box as his baseline. The task 5 is addition strategies. It gives you instructions on how to give it to the student. It tells you to have, for example, 3 plus 2. You have 3 manipulatives of one color, and you put them down, show them, and then cover it with an index card. 2 manipulatives of a different color, and then cover that, and then you ask them, how much do you have altogether? And the problems are 3 plus 2, 5 plus 4, and 9 plus 5. So he got them all first time go. So his baseline covers what he's expected to master for this task in the whole of first grade. So that's task 1, 2, 3, and 5 fully mastered, and a very small part of task 4 that needs to be worked on and enhanced. Then we go to subtraction strategies, and it does the same. It tells you the same manipulatives and markers, but I didn't even use manipulatives for John. I literally just told him, if I have 6 of something and I take away 3, how many do I have left over? And then 8 minus 5, I told him, if I have 8 gumballs and I give you 5, how many do I have left over? He gave me the answer. 11 minus 6, I said, if I have 11 trains and I give you 6, how many do I have left over? He thought about it for an instant and said, I think it's 5. And I told him, you are correct. So that was without any manipulatives, without any assistance. It was just doing it in his head and only partial paying attention, because he was in the middle of watching a YouTube video when that portion was, when I administered that to him. Now this has one more task we have not gone into. It is a place value task. I have not gone into it because I don't have the manipulatives required to do this properly. So I'm going to come back to that when I have a chance to go to the teacher store and get some counting cues.